Hey guys, what is up? RedExions here and welcome back to this brand new video. And today we are back at circuit Emmen Links Kerpen in Germany to compete in a round of the German Rotax Max challenge. And for this weekend we'll be running with a team I have never worked with before. Which one is it? Well, I'll show you. Yes guys, we are racing for Kraft Motorsport this weekend. Team boss Kilian Kraft asked me to come and race with the team as a guest driver, and of course I had to say yes to that. Kraft is one of the largest teams in Europe and known for improving drivers. Now I have one main weakness with these Rotax karts, and that is hot and grippy conditions. These conditions often occur during race weekends here in Europe and require a very specific driving style in order to be fast. This weekend is purely meant to improve my speed in these high grip conditions, and what a better track to do it at than Kerpen. If you didn't know, this track is the place where Michael Schumacher and Sebastian Vettel started their wildly successful racing careers. Let's go on a hot lap and see what this track is like. The lap starts out with a short run to turn 1, a fast right-hand kink which isn't really a challenge. Let the kart flow out wide and brake hard for turn 2. Keep your apex speed as high as you can without upsetting the kart. Get back over to the right to open up turn 3, a downward late apex left-hander. Go up the hill and open up the rental kart corner, a banked left-hander which takes us into the famous Kerpen forest. Left, right, curb, no curb. This is one hell of a ride, and the reason Kerpen is sometimes referred to as the Nürburgring of karting. We exit the forest with a left-hand hairpin. Let the Rotax engine do all the hard work for you as you rocket towards Bravery Corner, which is a flat-out blast to the left. Now the famous Schumacher chicane follows. Take every curb, brake late, but keep the kart steady through the final double apex left-hander to do it all over again here in Kerpen. So guys, this track is just absolutely incredible. One of the best in Europe and easily one of my personal favorites. Almost as amazing as the feeling you get when you hit those like and subscribe buttons. Really, it's almost like you're here with me, I promise. Anyways, in this first session with the new Kraft machine, I gotta be honest, I wasn't really feeling it. The steering wheel position was a bit off because it wasn't in the same position that I have it in my own kart, and I couldn't really get comfortable with the kart yet. But hey, for a first session that's expected I guess. I did manage to keep up with 2 of my 30 teammates here. Yes, 30 teammates. And I even overtook one of them. Not a bad start to the weekend, but we're still half a second off the pace. Now, the real trouble kicked in during the next session. The grip skyrocketed thanks to 200 Rotax karts laying down rubber here. The more grip, the tougher it gets to be smooth. Any tiny mistake with the steering wheel or a little slide and you're losing time fast. The engine just can't handle the resistance of the tires and the insane grippy track. And yeah, we're getting crazy slower and slower because of the track evolving. We even got overtaken by back markers at some point. Ouch. This really goes to show that we have serious trouble with high grip conditions. If you think back to last video, we were winning in the wet last week in Copenhagen. And now we are getting overtaken by back markers in these super grippy conditions. A possible explanation for that is the fact that I am quite heavy and quite tall for senior Rotax. Most of the guys are like 5'6", 5'7", or like 170 centimeters. And they only weigh about 60 kilograms, maybe a little bit more. And I'm 6 foot tall, or 182 centimeters, and I weigh about 80 kilograms. So I'm a little bit overweight, and because I'm quite tall, my center of gravity is quite high up. Which means that the kart is harder to control, goes up onto wheels quite a lot, and yeah, overall it's just harder to find the pace. Because I create so much grip in the kart with my tall body. This does mean though that I have a definite advantage in the wet, but in dry conditions like this, I'm just struggling massively. So for the next session we made some setup changes and slapped on fresh tires. When you're at these events you always want to do a quali simulation. New tires, push on laps 2 and 3, and oh, we also upgraded our shoe, which totally gained us about half a second. The new tires gave us a little pace advantage, but not enough. We gained maybe a tenth or 2 on the leaders, mostly thanks to the setup tweaks. We tried a similar approach to Copenhagen, more front grip and less at the back. But my driving, still rough. You can see the kart bouncing and sliding all over the place, and that is not how you want to tackle these corners in a Rotax kart. So we've got some work to do after lunch. So guys, we're going to have a look at the data now, because there you can really see where I am fucking up the most. So let's have a look. We went slower on new tires, that's not good of course.
Yeah, normally you can do nearly the same lap time in the end and what you did in the middle.
That shouldn't be the case, of course.
Yeah, for me it's like in this corner but you know, regarding the line, you was tight, but your point where you are accelerating is much later. So it's mean for me you need to wait to get the power on.
And that's what my mechanic said. He said on the exit of every corner I go wider than the rest, and then I lose a lot of time because of that. Especially here, he said you're taking it so wide.
In the last one, yeah. In the last one, generally you went wider. Your lowest point is like much later all the time. That's for me like you struggle. You are not able to get the power. Why? So if I just go backwards and I ask myself why. You was all the time really fast in the corners? No, not really. When, especially maybe here in the beginning when you are just slowing down.
So you're saying that the point where you lose comes really the rotation?
Normally is like for me. Okay, when you are accelerating, that's mean for me the apex. You are ready with the turning and you are ready to accelerate. And for me, this is.
I'm not ready with the turning.
Yeah. So this is what I want to see on the video. Like we are not ready with the turning, or.
But I'll tell this to my mechanic.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Your
SD card?
Yeah.
Alright, so a little bit of a recap on the data session. What we found out is that I'm losing most time like on rotation in the corner. I have to slow down more than the other drivers and I have to get on the power later. So that means that I can't get the car rotated properly. And that's about, half of it is in my driving and half of it's maybe in the setup. So we're going to add a bit more grip at the front. Of course we're off the pace, but it can still go either way. So let's just see. Good intro. This is Mats. He's a bit zesty. Huh? So after a super helpful telemetry session, we figured out where the time is slipping away. I'm not rotating the kart fast enough on the apex, so while the other drivers are accelerating out of the corner, I'm still trying to turn. It's a mix of going in too fast and the setup working against me. You can really see it when we follow the other drivers. Their karts are pointing in the right direction way sooner than us. And this means that the moment we get on the power, they just pull away by 1 or 2 kart lengths. Unfortunately, we didn't totally fix the setup or my driving by the end of the day. We shaved off some time, but man, it still looked bad. I kinda saw this coming given the conditions, but we tried our best and props to the team for trying everything. Time to hit the reset and come back stronger tomorrow. Let's see what we can do. Alright guys, that was the day. This is my new best friend, Mats.
Long best friend.
Long best friend. I think I punted you in the B&L kickoff last year.
Now it's nearly half a second. A little bit further back, there's some proper argy-bargy. There is a Kraft Motorsport kart in the middle of all of that, and that's Johan Overhoff, who gets assaulted from the right-hand side. I think that might have been Bram Osterwalder getting his elbows out there.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, okay. But yeah, the day was a bit weird. In the beginning of the day it was not bad. I think we were missing like half a second. And then we switched to the other tires and we just got slower. So maybe I left my speed in Denmark or I just suck. But yeah, we actually don't really know what the problem is. So we're going to try a bunch of things tomorrow. And let's see how that goes. First we have to go to the driver's briefing, which is in German, and I probably won't understand anything. Well guys, good morning. Time for day 2. Today it's already race day. We have the first heats, we have qualifying, and first of all we have practice. Yeah, let's hit the reset button. Let's see if we can find a little bit more speed, because if we have the speed that we had in the last session yesterday, that's no bueno. We're going to go to the standard setup and then let's see how it goes. Alright guys, time for the first of the heats. Heats are basically short sprint races in which the starting grid for the final will be determined. There are 50 drivers and only 36 spots for the final, so we need to score good points in this first heat. We massively screwed up our qualifying by being way too slow, so in this heat we are starting in P29. We have to overtake basically half the field if we want to have a shot at going to the final. Anyways, we roll onto the tram lines now, 5 red lights are out and away we go. We have a pretty good getaway and decide to completely risk it around the outside. Chaos ensues around us, but we get lucky and find our way through and gain a few positions in the fourth corner. And here's when we start to see the problem of not being in the front. The camera crew does not focus on you, which is understandable of course. Luckily we can see the live positions counter in the bottom of the screen here. And as the race went on, I am not on camera, but you can see us slowly but surely fighting our way towards the front. One of my sponsors arrived who knows a lot about karting and the pace has improved a little bit due to his coaching. Big shout out to you, Martin. In the end we bring it home in P14, which I was semi-happy with. After penalties were applied to the other drivers, we actually found ourselves in P13. Of course it's still not where you want to be, but it's a big improvement compared to our pace in qualifying. Let's see what we can do in the next heat.
Well guys, that was the first heat and yeah, definitely a step in the right direction. I think we gained 16 places, not sure. Yeah, the speed was definitely a little bit back, so we have to build on this for the next heat. We also tried for the next heat a little bit of a different sprocket, which should give me a little bit more top speed and a little bit more mid, so yeah, we went down on sprocket. And yeah, if we just continue improving like this, I think we can definitely make up some more places and be a little bit further to the front, which is better of course. But yeah, what a complete difference between of course last week and this week, completely different conditions, and you can definitely see that we still struggle in the very hot and grippy conditions. But this is a great learning opportunity for that. So I think my second heat is due in about 2 hours, and let's just see how it goes. I look forward to it.
So the second heat is about to kick off. This time we are racing against Group B. We have just one more heat after this one in which we will earn double points. First, let's see what we can do in this one. 5 red lights go out now and away we go. Again, we are not really clearly visible on screen, but the getaway was decent and we gained 1 or 2 places. I again decide to risk it around the outside, but this time the chaos causes some people to go off, including us. So unfortunately this start is nowhere near as good as the one in the previous heat, and we have one hell of a job to do if we want to get a good result. And just like in the previous heat, we start climbing places. The grip is getting more and more extreme however, and that means our pace took another hit. What I noticed is that when the tires were still cold, we were pretty much able to keep up with the field, but once everyone got heat in their tires, we just start going backwards compared to the rest of them. So this time we were only able to climb to P17 on track, which is actually okay in terms of points, especially considering that after penalties we once again get promoted to P13. Now there's just one more heat left before we have the final.
What are you doing, man? Don't you have to be clean?
Alright guys, so that was the heat. Yeah, first one was quite good of course, second one was a bit less good. I feel like we were sliding a bit at the back in the end there. We also tried something with the sprocket, and if you slide at the back, of course the smaller sprocket will not be better. In terms of pace, we were again a little bit closer to the front this time, so we're making small steps every time, which is great of course. So yeah, tomorrow we'll try a completely different setup to keep the small sprocket, and yeah, we'll just see how it goes. But yeah, I think small improvements again. Let's keep this trend going. I think we're doing quite good.
Guys, you have 3 seconds to guess where we are.
Of course, we're eating at the Schumacher restaurant again.
And we have some live entertainment of these rental cars. Alright guys, good morning. We are back. We just did the warm-up. We tried something very different with the setup.
Everything good? Perfect. Namely, we switched to a low ride height at both the front and also at the rear.
I feel like this made the car a lot easier to drive. This also meant that we now got P12 in the warm-up, so we're definitely finding back some speed. For the superheat we're starting in P9, and yeah, only way from here is up, and let's see what we can do.
Alrighty guys, superheat time. Like I said, this heat will give us double the points of a regular heat, so getting a good result in this one is vital. The fact that we are starting in P9 will definitely help us with that, so let's see what we can do. We once again roll onto the tram lines, 5 red lights go out now and away we go. This time we can hopefully stay out of trouble given the fact that we are more in the front. We muscle our way up the inside and now find ourselves in P6, so that's a great start. What I noticed is that now that everyone still had cold tires again and the grip levels were lower, we were actually able to keep up with the top 5 here. But a few laps later, when everyone got some heat into their tires, it was once again back to my real pace. We dropped to P7, then immediately to P8, P10 and eventually P11. Unfortunately, the camera crew was completely focused on the front group and we finished the race in P11. Unlike the last 2 heats in which we benefited from penalties applied to others, this time we are on the receiving end. I got a front fairing penalty at the start of the race, which put us back down to P15. So that's P13 twice and a double point to P15. That means that we are through to the final, and let's see what we can make of that. So, final time. After some difficult days here in Kerpen and qualifying in 43rd place, we nearly halved our position and are now starting in P25 in the final. For the last time this weekend, we roll into the tram lines and away we go. We get a semi-okay getaway, maintaining our position for now, but the left-hand lane got an absolutely dreadful getaway. We once again gamble it around the outside of turn 1 and we are able to gain about 2 positions. When you are starting further back, it is super important to keep attacking in these first few laps, as attacking also means you are keeping to the inside and defending at the same time. Attack really is the best defense in this case. And then at the start of the next lap we have a spinner in which we gain another position. And by focusing on our driving, overtaking and being as smooth as possible, we slowly but surely make our way up the grid, bringing it home in P16 and after penalties were applied, P14. Difficult weekend in which we definitely didn't have the pace, which is a real shock considering how the last weekend went. I feel like the fact that we are now a few kilograms overweight and that we are quite tall for senior Rotax are definitely one of the reasons that we are not getting good results in high grip conditions like this. Anyways, we still tried our best. The team worked really hard on the setup to make the kart easier to drive with my extra chub. It's not even chub, I'm just heavy. I don't know where I leave all the weight. But yeah, huge shout out to Kraft Motorsport and Kilian for arranging everything and the hard work during the whole weekend.
Alright guys, and that was the superheat and the final. I feel like we struggled a bit more today than yesterday. Definitely struggling again with the grip. Especially in the final, I feel like we definitely had too much grip at the back. And like I said, I just struggled to adjust to that, which is my bad. Definitely a little bit of a step in the right direction, but definitely not where we want to be in the high grip situations. Do you have anything to add, Darius?
You're so nice, Bram.
Thank you.
So nice.
Thank you. You too. Anyways guys, with that also comes the end to this video. Of course, as always, if you've enjoyed it, please consider hitting those like and subscribe buttons. You know, you really help me when you do that. I know I haven't really been active, but that's just because I have been racing a lot, so there's plenty of videos coming, don't worry. If you want to follow me a bit more like live, consider following me on TikTok and Instagram. I usually post there every week, so follow that. Again, I want to say a huge thank you to Kraft Motorsport and Kilian for providing the kart for me this weekend. I had a lot of fun. The result wasn't really what we wanted, but I guess that's just what we had to live with these conditions and my body. Speaking of my body, being a bit taller and a bit heavier can be a massive benefit in the wet. So if you want to see me absolutely kick ass in the wet the previous week before this race, go watch the video on screen right now. This video is over, however, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.